A violent tremor shook the ground beneath the paleontologist's feet in the heart of Mongolia's Gobi Desert, where the scorching sun had baked the earth into a cracked, unforgiving landscape. It wasn't an earthquake that caused this disturbance, but rather the careful removal of sediment layers that had concealed a secret for over 66 million years. The discovery that emerged from those ancient rocks would challenge everything scientists thought they knew about herbivorous dinosaurs and their evolution. The first signs appeared when Dr. Marcus Chen's brush carefully swept away millennia of accumulated sediment, revealing something that made his experienced hands tremble with excitement. There, emerging from the rock like a ghost from the past, was a skull structure that defied conventional wisdom. The specimen possessed a combination of features that shouldn't exist together: the robust dental structure of a plant-eater coupled with a bite force mechanism that rivaled the most fearsome predators of the late Cretaceous period. As the excavation progressed through the harsh desert conditions, more puzzling elements emerged. The creature's skeletal structure suggested an animal of massive proportions, but with peculiarities that left even veteran paleontologists scratching their heads in bewilderment. How could a herbivore develop such powerful jaw muscles? What evolutionary pressures could have led to such seemingly contradictory adaptations? These questions echoed across the dig site as the team worked tirelessly to uncover more of this enigmatic beast. The magnitude of the discovery became apparent when they uncovered the creature's unique dental arrangement. While clearly adapted for processing plant matter, the teeth were set in jaws that showed attachment points for muscles that could generate forces far beyond what would be necessary for typical herbivorous feeding behavior. This wasn't just another plant-eater. This was something entirely different. A creature that seemed to break the rules of evolutionary adaptation. Initial measurements suggested a creature that would have dwarfed most of its contemporaries, with early estimates pointing to a length that would rival modern-day blue whales. But size alone wasn't what made this discovery revolutionary. It was the combination of features that seemed to contradict everything scientists thought they knew about herbivorous dinosaur evolution. What kind of environment could have shaped such a beast? What selective pressures could have led to the development of such powerful bite mechanics in a plant-eater? As the sun set over the Gobi Desert that evening, casting long shadows across the excavation site, the team knew they were standing at the threshold of a discovery that would rewrite textbooks. The questions multiplied with each new bone uncovered. What role did this creature play in its ecosystem? How did it use its extraordinary combination of features? And perhaps most intriguingly, what does its existence tell us about the limitations of our understanding of evolutionary adaptation? This was just the beginning of a scientific journey that would challenge established theories and force researchers to reconsider everything they thought they knew about herbivorous dinosaurs. The Gobi Desert, already famous for its spectacular fossil discoveries, had yielded yet another secret, one that would prove to be among the most puzzling and fascinating findings in paleontological history. The laboratory analysis that followed, the initial discovery revealed a creature that lived during a time of extreme environmental upheaval, approximately 68 million years ago, when the world was experiencing dramatic climate fluctuations. The late Cretaceous period was already known for its extraordinary diversity of life, but this new specimen suggested levels of adaptation that nobody had previously imagined possible. Advanced scanning techniques revealed a skull structure that defied conventional classification. The creature's brain case showed enlarged areas associated with sensory processing, suggesting heightened environmental awareness far beyond what was typically seen in herbivorous dinosaurs. The jaw muscles, when reconstructed through detailed computer modeling, showed potential bite forces exceeding 40,000 newtons, comparable to modern-day saltwater crocodiles. Yet the wear patterns on the teeth clearly indicated a diet consisting of extremely tough plant matter. The postcranial skeleton told an equally compelling story. The creature's vertebrae showed unique adaptations for supporting massive neck muscles, suggesting it could generate tremendous forces with its head and neck. But why would a plant-eater need such power? The answer began to emerge when paleobotanists studied the fossilized plant remains found in the same sedimentary layers. The environment this creature inhabited was dominated by incredibly tough, woody vegetation that would have been inedible to most other herbivores of the time. Microscopic analysis of the bone structure revealed something even more surprising: evidence of an unusual metabolic adaptation. The bone tissue showed signs of rapid growth followed by periods of slower development, suggesting an ability to alter its metabolism in response to environmental conditions. This kind of physiological flexibility was previously unknown in dinosaurs of this size, raising intriguing questions about the creature's ability to survive in a changing world. The creature's forelimbs presented another puzzle. While clearly adapted for supporting its massive weight, they also showed evidence of specialized muscle attachments that suggested capabilities beyond simple locomotion. The shoulder girdle was reinforced in a way that indicated it could generate and sustain significant forces, perhaps for clearing vegetation or defensive purposes. But what kind of threat would necessitate such powerful defensive capabilities in an animal of this size? As researchers delved deeper into the biomechanics of this extraordinary creature, they began to piece together a picture of an animal that had evolved to exploit a unique ecological niche. Its powerful jaws and reinforced skull could process plant material that would have been inaccessible to other herbivores, while its size and strength would have made it virtually invulnerable to predation. But this raised even more questions. How did it regulate its body temperature with such a massive size? What were the energy requirements for sustaining such a large, powerful body? And perhaps most intriguingly, what does its existence tell us about the untapped potential of evolutionary adaptation? The analysis of the surrounding sediments revealed a harsh, semi-arid environment, punctuated by periods of intense rainfall, a challenging setting that would have required extraordinary adaptations for survival. The discovery was forcing scientists to reconsider the limits of what was possible in terms of evolutionary adaptation. Could there be other equally extraordinary creatures waiting to be discovered? What other evolutionary experiments had nature conducted during the age of dinosaurs? The scientific community's reaction to the discovery was immediate and polarizing, sparking heated debates at conferences and in peer-reviewed journals across the globe. At the International Paleontological Congress in Geneva, 3 distinct schools of thought emerged, each championing different interpretations of the extraordinary fossil evidence. The implications of these debates would reach far beyond paleontology, challenging fundamental concepts in evolutionary biology and ecosystem dynamics. Dr. Henrik Larsson from the Stockholm Institute of Evolutionary Biology presented compelling evidence suggesting that the creature's unique features were the result of an evolutionary phenomenon known as mosaic evolution, where different parts of an organism evolve at different rates in response to varying selective pressures. His detailed analysis of the creature's skull structure, using advanced 3-dimensional modeling techniques and comparative morphological studies, demonstrated how each unusual feature could have developed independently while maintaining functional integration. Meanwhile, Dr. Isabella Martinez from the University of California, Berkeley, proposed a more revolutionary interpretation. Her team's extensive biomechanical analysis suggested that the creature represented an entirely new adaptive strategy, one that had never been documented in the fossil record. Using advanced finite element analysis, they demonstrated how the animal's unusual combination of features would have allowed it to exploit food resources that were inaccessible to other herbivores of the period. The most controversial theory came from Dr. James Chen of Oxford University, who suggested that the creature's unique characteristics indicated a level of evolutionary plasticity previously thought impossible. His research team conducted detailed microscopic analysis of the bone structure, revealing evidence of rapid developmental changes that could occur within a single generation, a finding that challenged conventional understanding of evolutionary timeframes. The debate intensified when new evidence emerged from comparative studies with modern ecosystems. Dr. Elena Volkov's research team from the Moscow State University discovered surprising parallels between the ancient creature's adaptations and certain extreme adaptations seen in modern herbivores living in stressed environments. Their findings suggested that under sufficient environmental pressure, evolution could produce combinations of features that seemed paradoxical under conventional evolutionary theory. The controversy took an unexpected turn when detailed chemical analysis of the fossilized bones revealed unusual isotopic signatures, These signatures suggested a metabolic pathway that had never been documented in any other vertebrate, living or extinct. Dr. Ahmed Rahman's team from the University of Cape Town proposed that this unique metabolism might have allowed the creature to process plant materials that would have been toxic to other herbivores, effectively creating a monopoly on an otherwise unexploited food resource. This revelation led to a complete reevaluation of late Cretaceous ecosystem dynamics. How had this creature's presence affected the evolution of contemporary plant species? What implications did its existence have for our understanding of coevolutionary relationships between plants and herbivores? The questions seemed endless, and each new analysis seemed to add layers of complexity to an already intricate puzzle. The scientific community also grappled with questions about the creature's social behavior. Dr. Maria Torres, from the National University of Mexico, presented evidence from trackways found near the original fossil site, suggesting that these animals might have lived in structured social groups, an unusual behavior for animals of such massive size. Her research indicated patterns of movement that suggested coordinated group behavior, raising intriguing questions about the cognitive capabilities of these extraordinary creatures. As the debates continued, one thing became increasingly clear. This discovery was forcing a fundamental reassessment of what was possible in terms of evolutionary adaptation. The traditional boundaries between different adaptive strategies were proving to be far more permeable than anyone had previously imagined. What other evolutionary innovations might have existed during the age of dinosaurs? How many other extraordinary adaptations remained undiscovered, hidden in the rocks of ancient environments? The implications extended beyond paleontology into the realm of modern conservation biology. If such extreme adaptations were possible, what does this tell us about the potential for modern species to adapt to rapidly changing environments? Could understanding this ancient creature's extraordinary adaptations provide insights into how modern species might respond to climate change? Chapter 4. Reconstructing Life and Legacy. The painstaking process of reconstructing this extraordinary creature's life history began with the assembly of an international team of 57 specialists from 23 different countries. Each expert brought unique insights and methodologies to the task of understanding how this remarkable animal lived, moved, and interacted with its environment. The resulting analysis would prove to be one of the most comprehensive paleontological studies ever undertaken. Advanced computing systems at the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Biology processed over 3,000 individual data points to create the most accurate biomechanical model ever constructed for an extinct species. The results were staggering. The creature's estimated mass of 120,000 kilograms made it one of the heaviest land animals ever to exist, while its unusual proportions suggested capabilities that defied conventional understanding of large body mechanics. The creature's feeding mechanism proved particularly fascinating. Dr. Yoshida Tanaka's groundbreaking analysis of jaw mechanics, using stress distribution models borrowed from engineering, revealed that the animal could generate bite forces exceeding 70,000 newtons, nearly twice what was previously thought possible for any herbivorous dinosaur. More remarkably, the jaw structure showed evidence of specialized stress dissipation features that would have allowed it to maintain these extreme forces without damaging its own skull structure. Microscopic analysis of fossilized plant remains found in the same strata revealed an ecosystem dominated by incredibly tough, fibrous vegetation. Dr. Elena Petrova's team identified silica bodies in these plant fossils that would have made them virtually inedible to most herbivores. However, the unique dental wear patterns and jaw mechanics of our specimen suggested it had evolved specifically to process this challenging food source. This represented an extraordinary example of extreme specialization, opening up an entirely new perspective on prehistoric plant-animal interactions. The creature's sensory capabilities proved equally remarkable. Dr. Marcus Williams' analysis of the endocranial cavity revealed neural structures suggesting highly developed spatial awareness and environmental sensitivity. The enlarged olfactory bulbs indicated an acute sense of smell, while the inner ear structure suggested a level of balance and coordination unprecedented in animals of this size. These features painted a picture of an animal that was far more agile and aware than its massive size would suggest. Perhaps most intriguingly, evidence began to emerge of complex social behavior. Dr. Carlos Ruiz's analysis of rare trace fossils, found near the original site, revealed patterns consistent with coordinated group movement. Multiple trackways showed signs of individuals moving in formation, maintaining consistent spacing and alignment. This suggested a level of social coordination previously unknown in giant herbivorous dinosaurs, raising fascinating questions about their cognitive capabilities and social structures. The creature's relationship with its environment proved equally fascinating. Analysis of isotope ratios in the bone structure revealed evidence of seasonal migrations covering distances of up to 3,000 kilometers. This suggested an animal capable of traversing vast territories, perhaps following patterns of plant growth and rainfall. The implications for ecosystem dynamics were profound. How did the movement of such massive creatures affect their environment? What impact did their feeding patterns have on plant evolution and distribution? The question of predation also yielded surprising insights. While the creature's size alone would have deterred most predators, evidence of healed injuries on several specimens suggested occasional conflicts with large theropods. Dr. Hannah Chen's analysis of these injury patterns revealed a defensive capability that went beyond passive size-based protection. The animal's unique neck musculature and reinforced skull structure suggested it could actively defend itself, perhaps using its massive head as a weapon. The creature's reproductive strategy presented another fascinating avenue of research. Dr. Ahmed Al-Rahman's analysis of growth rings in the bones suggested a remarkably fast growth rate during juvenile stages, with individuals reaching nearly 50% of their adult size within their first 5 years of life. This rapid growth would have quickly moved young animals out of the size range vulnerable to predation, but it raised intriguing questions about the metabolic demands of such rapid development. Understanding the creature's thermal regulation became a crucial area of study. Dr. Isabella Martinez's team developed complex thermal models that suggested the animal's massive size actually provided an unexpected advantage in temperature regulation. The high surface area to volume ratio would have helped maintain stable body temperatures despite environmental fluctuations, while specialized vascular structures in the skin might have aided in heat dissipation during periods of intense activity. These findings were revolutionizing our understanding of what was possible in terms of biological adaptation. Here was an animal that had not only reached the theoretical size limits for a land-dwelling creature, but had developed sophisticated solutions to the numerous challenges such size presented. What other extraordinary adaptations might still lie, undiscovered in the fossil record? What are the true limits of evolutionary possibility? The impact of this extraordinary discovery continues to reverberate through the scientific community, forcing a fundamental reassessment of our understanding of evolutionary processes and biological limits. 5 years of intensive study have generated over 200 peer-reviewed papers, yet new questions continue to emerge with each fresh analysis of the data. The implications extend far beyond paleontology, touching on fields ranging from biomechanical engineering to modern conservation biology. The creature's unique adaptations have sparked a revolution in biomechanical engineering. Engineers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology have drawn inspiration from its stress distribution mechanisms to develop new architectural support systems. The creature's remarkably efficient locomotion system, despite its massive size, has influenced the design of heavy machinery and robotics. Dr. Rachel Anderson's team has successfully applied principles derived from the creature's joint structure to create more efficient prosthetic limbs, demonstrating how ancient adaptations can inform modern technological solutions. Climate. Scientists have found particular relevance in studying how this massive herbivore adapted to environmental stress. The creature's existence during a period of significant climate fluctuation provides valuable insights into biological adaptation to environmental change. Dr. Philippe Dubois' research team has identified parallels between the environmental pressures that shaped this ancient giant and the challenges facing modern species under climate change. Their findings suggest that extreme adaptation may be possible within shorter timeframes than previously believed, offering a glimmer of hope for species facing rapid environmental change. The discovery has also revolutionized our understanding of ecosystem dynamics. The creature's impact on its environment would have been profound, creating what Dr. Maria Gonzalez terms ecosystem engineering on a massive scale. Modern ecological modeling suggests that the movement patterns of these giants would have created corridors of modified vegetation that might have influenced the distribution and evolution of other species. This understanding has led to new perspectives on the role of large herbivores in modern ecosystem management and restoration. Perhaps most intriguingly, the creature's existence has forced a re-evaluation of the limits of biological possibility. If such extraordinary adaptations were possible 68 million years ago, what other remarkable evolutionary experiments might have occurred? What undiscovered possibilities might still exist within the framework of natural selection? These questions have sparked a renewed interest in evolutionary biology and the search for other unusual adaptations in both the fossil record and modern ecosystems. The implications for modern conservation biology are particularly significant. Dr. James Wong's research suggests that understanding how this ancient creature adapted to environmental stress could provide crucial insights for protecting modern species facing similar challenges. The discovery has led to new approaches in conservation strategy, emphasizing the importance of preserving evolutionary potential rather than just maintaining current biodiversity. As we continue to unravel the mysteries of this extraordinary creature, one thing becomes increasingly clear. Our understanding of life's potential for adaptation and innovation remains incomplete. Each new discovery reminds us that the history of life on Earth is far more complex and fascinating than we had imagined. The question that now faces us is not just what we can learn from this remarkable creature, but what other extraordinary discoveries might still await us in the fossil record. In the end, perhaps the greatest legacy of this discovery is how it has transformed our perspective on what is possible in terms of biological adaptation. It stands as a testament to life's remarkable capacity for innovation and a reminder that we must remain open to discovering the extraordinary in our search for understanding the natural world.